Okay? Sorry for being late. So, let me ask a question to men. When was the last time you cried? And to the woman, when was the last time you saw your father, brother, male friends cry? Think about it for a second. Some time ago, I sat down and asked this question myself, and it helped me realize that we are facing a serious issue in today's reality. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't see that. And actually understanding meaning this question helped me realize that I need to speak about this now. Over a year ago, I founded an organization with my colleagues that focus on fight against sexual harassment, discrimination against women, and actually supporting those ones that are suffering. As a young woman, I often encounter various unwanted comments, looks, discrimination. But all of this awakened in me the need to fight this problem. You're Not Alone was a way in which we could actually move many taboo topics, sexual harassment, discrimination, understanding the portrait of women that we want to have as women. But most importantly, support the ones that are suffering. However, despite our huge contribution, I felt that we were missing something. I felt kind of insufficiency. We focus on women all the time, and I actually caught myself thinking, if men can even understand what we are going through in our everyday life, how hard our life is, they should feel this. And to be honest, this narrative went on for weeks, until I started asking my male friends, my closest relatives, and myself, are they actually going through something? And then it hit me. No matter how hard I tried to fight this false narrative, I fell into it myself. When I understood it, when the stereotypes actually affected me, as I was surprised that men can actually go through something that it would be uncommon for them to suffer and feel the pain. Here we see the crux of the problem. The society we all grew up in has implemented some sort of masculinity norm that has bonded us from the possibility of men suffering, as it would be something uncommon. We can steal it from our childhood. So girls tend and are regarded to be delicate, loving, sweet, cute, when boys refuse to cry, describing it as a sign of weakness. They are told to be tough and strong from the very beginning. Furthermore, when they actually show their emotions in a public space, that it can cause intimidation or actually discrimination from the people their age. They're also called things like, be a man, grow up, which is so hurtful, for sure. And also comparing them to the weakness of woman's nature, of course, insulting for us, don't be a lady. We see how in the initial phase, certain beliefs are formed that will often harm us for the rest of our lives. And I am not only referring to women here, but also men. So each of you here is an emotional human being, meaning that every event affects us in some way. However, we as women have this privilege that talking about our emotions, crying and feeling them, will not be measured by more criticism. So men have two scenarios. First, feeling them, talking about them, crying. And the second one, being closed up, tough, and just locking themselves in this armor, creating this false narrative of this indestructible man. Of course, we can all say that choosing the first scenario would be much better because, of course, emotions find its outlet. However, the criticism associated with it is often much worse. People call those men weak, as if crying does not testify to to being mannish, as it's not masculine enough. Sometimes when men find this courage to actually talk about their feelings, they're told, unfortunately, I have to admit that, by women, to not act like a lady. So they choose the second scenario, the toxic one that we are talking about today. The one that enables them to feel good, to feel free, and feel the freedom of speech. But I'm here to tell you how does it can actually finish and change. So let me give you an example of men locking themselves in this toxic armor. Each of you probably knows the Old Spice ad, the famous deodorant associated with this masculinity. A muscular, tough-talking man on a horse, the model of ideal masculinity. However, despite the model of toughness, Terry Crew took a quantum leap by opening up about being a victim of sexual harassment. This event took place in a public space when he was in a company of his wife. So when he actually opened up about this being a victim, many people advised him to sweep the subject under the rug and not play being a victim. But he decided to take a risk and talk about this. Many people didn't want him to press charges, thinking that it can undermine the visualization of men that they have been building for years, as if being a victim wasn't mannish enough. But he did that. The decision to get his way definitely surprised everyone, but also Terry, by doing it so, showed that anyone can be a victim, despite gender, status, background. But most importantly, everyone deserves the right to speak up and to fight for their truth. So this even showed us that this toxic reality, it's really hurtful. And not only hurtful for us, but for men, but also for the whole society. So, unfortunately, the society we all live in, the stereotypes we all put in together are still here. And I believe there is something that we can do. But yeah, what I mean here is that men are specifically persuaded that sobbing in public will most of the time undermine their masculinity, which is, of course, the most important for them. But to be honest, our capacity for feeling emotions is a key component of what makes us human. We want to smile and exhibit joy when we are happy. When we feel angry, our voices stands up, and we all feel this kind of tension. We all instinctively want to cry when we are sad. Avoiding all of this emotion can have a lot of negative effects on our mental health, physical health, everything. Suppressing feelings can actually result in depression, melancholy, and anxiety, but it can also raise a person's risk of suicide. And it's particularly more common in men. Suicide happened in the year 2018. Actually, men died by suicide 4 times more than women did. So we see that this problem is prior. We should do something about that. However, we'll not escape those consequences until our society changes. This is why I am standing here before you guys, asking you to create this new narrative as we slowly move forward towards to this new, not toxic narrative and reality. So I am asking you here, women, please, ask your closest men, simple question, how they are feeling, if everything is okay. And after this, please be open to an honest conversation and listen to them. And men, Next time when you feel like talking to someone, crying it out, just do it. Don't think twice, just do it. And I know it might seem unreal. It might seem weird at first. And honestly, you need to leave your comfort zone behind to do this. But to create new narrative, new reality that we will finally all be happy in, we need to sometimes leave our comfort zone behind and try something new. So, by ending my speech, I am asking you, let them cry.